Okay, as we are still under the application of simultaneous equations. I hope my screen is still showing. Okay. Today we'll cover the complementary substitution, and then we'll do the break even. So by the end of this class, sorry, I have to tell you that. As if there's someone there on the loop, please admit them for me because I can't see them if I'm sharing my screen. When I'm sharing my screen. Okay. But today we are still under application of simultaneous function. But today we'll look at the complementary and substitution of goods and then the break even. Okay. So by the end of this class, you should know how to explain the concepts of equilibrium by determining or interpreting the effects of complementary and substitute goods. And you should be able to explain the concept of break even. Okay, starting from the complementary and substitution and substitute goods. Okay, these the complementary and the substitute goods. Okay, this is how we differentiate them. Complementary goods are a group of goods consumed together to meet a specific need. Né? And okay, such as sugar and coffee, they all go together. And then we have substitute goods. Those are goods that can replace each other, that have the same. Okay, that can just replace each other in use or in consumption, right? And an example of the substitute goods is the tea and coffee. Can replace tea with coffee. Okay. And then another thing, these goods increase consumers' choices and competition between companies. So the main difference between these two goods, which is the complementary goods and the substitute goods, are okay. The substitute and the complementary is that the substitute goods, like what this rate. Okay, those are goods that can replace each other, whereas the complementary are consumed. We consume those together. They are consumed together. Okay. Suppose we have two goods, X and Y. If X and Y are complementary goods, like if they are those goods that goes together, that needs each other, like tea and sugar, right? Then the demand for, let's say a demand for good S is given as QX equals to A minus B, PX minus C, QY. And if these two goods, we are told that they are substitute, then the demand for good X would be given as QX equals to A minus BPX plus CPY. I think on the study guide, they left B. There is a B missing. I think that was a typing error or something. Okay, whereby A, B, C, they are all constant. Okay, let's just write D. A, B, C. Okay, A, B, C. A, B, C, those are just constant. Please mute your mic. And you don't have to join the class if you are busy. Let's continue. Saying if good X and Y, we are told that they are complementary goods, then the demand for good X would be given by this equation, whereby A, B, C, those ones the constant, and PX is the price for good X and PY is the price for good Y, for goods Y. And then if these two goods, we are told that they are the substitute goods. So the demand for good X will be given by this function. Again, A, B, C are constant, and PX is the price for good X, and PY, that's the price for good Y, goods Y. Okay, here on equation 1, whereby these two goods, they complementary. We have a negative sign before the price of goods Y, and here on this second equation, whereby we are told that good X and good Y, those product X and product Y, they are substitute. We have a positive before the price of Y. Okay. The reason being is because on the complementary goods, if okay. Okay, let me explain equation 1 first. Okay, this sign, it means if the price of good X like decreases, then let me just say Y. If the price of good Y decreases, that means the demand for good X, for product X, will also decrease, right? Like, for example, let's say your shop sells sugar and tea, and you know these two, they goes together. So if to make a tea, you'll need you'll need both, right? So if you increase the price of sugar, that means less people, okay, the demand of the tea will decrease because some people won't afford to buy sugar. So if they don't have sugar, there is no need to buy tea, right? And then we have equation 2 whereby these two, they are substitute. We have a positive on before the price of goods Y. And this means if you increase the price of product Y, that means you like the product X will be more in demand. Like for example, we have coffee and tea. Let's say now you increase the price of the coffee. Some people won't afford coffee, so they will have to settle for tea. That means tea will be in demand. Okay, you need to know this question, these functions, because you won't be given. But anyway, it's an open book. But just in case they say you don't have to use your book, so you need to know these two by the heart. And another thing, so that you won't confuse the two. Okay. Do we have a question for now? Okay, if there is no questions, let's do an example. Okay, suppose the question is like this. We are asked to determine the equilibrium prices and quantity for good X and Y. Given that the demand and supply function for good X, where Y is the substitute, is given as Q dx. Okay, this is demand for good X is equal to 100 minus 5 px plus py, right? Okay, this is the demand for good X, whereby Y is the substitute. And we're given the supply function again is Qxs is equal to minus 10 plus 21 px. Oh, another thing. Okay, I'll come back to And then we are given again the demand and supply function for good Y, given that X is the substitute as Q dy equals 150 minus 5 x minus 5 y and Q x y equals to minus 10 plus 45 py. Okay. The question is, we have to determine the equilibrium price and the quantity for both products, which is product X and product Y. Equilibrium prices. Remember, at equilibrium, the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied, right? So that means we can use that to okay, that's where we will start. Okay, they said we should find the price and quantity at equilibrium for both these. And then what we know about equilibrium is that the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied, right? Okay, again, for y, because these two, they are both at equilibrium, we'll have q dy equals q xy. Okay, let me use this one first, right? If I use this, I will have 100 minus 5px plus py equals minus 10 plus 21 px, right? And the next step from here is to simplify this function. We first have to collect the like terms, group the like terms together, and we simplify further. Okay, and if we do that, I'm gonna take all the terms with our, okay, all the terms with the price on one side and the values on the other side, right? And if I do that, I will have minus 5px plus py minus 21px equals minus 10 minus 100, right? And then we drop the like terms now. We have this term with px and this one. So we can just add these two, right? Oh, I forgot. Oh, it was just plus py. Okay, this is fine. And okay, we have minus 5 and minus 21. That's minus 26, right? So we have minus 26 px plus py equals minus 110, right? Okay, we can make this equation 1, and we still have to use the other condition, which is the demand for product Y equals the supply for product Y, right? And if I do that, I will have, okay, P dy equals P xy, and this gives us 150 minus 5x, oh God, minus 5p py equals to minus 10 plus 45 p py. Again, I'm gonna take the price on one side, the prices on one side, and the variables on the other side, right? And if I do that, I will have minus 5px minus 5py minus 45 py equals minus 10 minus 150, right? And then we collect the like terms, we drop the like terms. And if we do that, we'll have minus 50. Okay, minus 50. Let me just start with this 5. I'll have minus 5px minus 50 py equals minus 160, right? Okay, we have two equations now. We have this as our equation 1, and we have this as our equation 2. But you see, we can still simplify this equation further. We have minus 5px, and we have minus 50. We have minus 60, right? And you see there's a common factor between all these term, which is 5. So it means in this case, we can just first divide by the common factor, which is minus 5. And if we divide all our terms with minus 5, that means we'll have px plus 10 py equals 32. And we can take this as our equation 2. Remember, our equation 1 was minus 26 px plus py. Okay, this is just py. Minus 110. Okay, this is equation 1. Okay, and then we can solve these two equations simultaneously, right? We can say, let me start from equation 2. We can let, okay, I'll now solve for px and px, the price of the subjects of the formula. And if I do that, I will have px equals 32 minus 10 py, right? Okay, now I know that px equals to 32 minus 10y. So I can just take this and substitute back here on equation 1 where there is px. And if I do that, I will have minus 26. Okay, we have px, which is 32 minus 10 py, right? Plus py equals minus 110. Okay. You see, now in this equation, we have only one unknown, which is py, right? So that means we can solve for py, and when we get the answer, and then we substitute back to this equation, and that means that will give us px. Okay, we have minus 26 times 32. Please check that for me. 26 times 32.
H32.
What? 832?
Yeah, H32.
Okay. Minus 832. And then we have minus 26 times 10, which is minus, oh, it's plus 260, right? Py plus py equals minus 110, right? Okay, we said since we only have one unknown on this equation, which is py, so we are trying to make py the subject of the formula, right? And if we make py the subject of the formula, that means we'll have, okay, that means we must have py on one side and the variables on the other side. So it means the first step is to transpose this to the other side of the equal sign, right? And if we do that, we'll have 260 PY plus PY equals 832. Remember, it changes the sign, minus 110. Okay. Then we can drop the like terms, which is this term and this term, right? If we add these terms, we'll have 227 PY, right? And then we have 832 minus 110. That is 722, right? 722. Okay, but we are not looking for 227 PY. We want PY only. So this means we have to divide by 227 on both sides.
Excuse me, Ms. Nkomo.
So
Yes.
Is it not 261 PY? Because we had 260 PY plus PY.
it is should be
Like,
261.
oh, okay. I think I made a mistake when I was moving from here to here, which I always do this one. Wait, but numbers. Okay, thank you. So that means we have this and this as 261 PY. And then we have minus 110 plus 3 plus 832. Right? So this means we have 261 PY equals 722. That means we need to divide by 261 on both sides. Okay, please check this one for me.
So it's going to be 2.77.
Just 2.77.
Yes, it was 2.66, so 2.77. It was 2.766, so rounded off, it's 2.77.
Okay, like I prefer to round off at the end to reduce the error. So the thing, this means we have to write this 722.261. We'll only round off at the end. So I'm gonna put it as a fraction like this. Okay, we said our PX is equal to 32 minus 10 times PY, right? So this means since we have PY, we can substitute PY here, and then we solve for PX, right? So we have PX equals 32 minus 10 times 722 over 261, right? Please check this one for me. Okay, please check this one for me if it does give the same answer as this one. I'm just trying to, I don't want to use decimal places. Is it fine?
Yes, it's fine.
Now,
Yes, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now we have px original equation, the ones that we were working with that initially. No, this one. Okay, we have these two equations. One's for quantity, right? The demand. So you have px and py. You can just substitute the two here, and then you solve the demand of product X, and then again you go to the demand of product Y. You substitute that px and py, the ones that you obtain, and then that will give you the demand of product Y, and those would be your equilibrium price and quantity for both for both products, which is product X and product Y. Do we have questions?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, hi.
I just want to know, why do we have to leave the answers in fractions? Is it not easier like when we simplify it and then continue with simplified answers?
Okay, you can write your number as in decimal, okay? But just make sure you don't round off
Okay.
when you are not done calculating. You can only round off at the end. Because if you round off, you keep on round offing all the steps, then you might not get the correct answer. So to limit the error, to reduce the error, it's better you don't round off. You only round off at the end. Even if they said give your answer into decimal places, don't round off while you're still calculating. We are not on your final answer.
Okay, so actually working it out with fractions is the safest option.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Okay. Let's move on to break even.
Yes, hello, I've got a question. Can we go to equation 2? The one of minus 5px minus 5py minus
This one.
yes, minus 5px minus 50py equals minus 160. Would it still work out without having to simplify it further?
Yes. You'll still get the correct answer.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, I think I skipped taxis or something like that. The ones that goes after this section. You can skip it too if you want. Now we'll move to break even. Okay, remember at the beginning of this module, first class, we said the aim of this module is learning how to make a profit for any business, right? And remember, the profit can be calculated by subtracting the total cost from the total revenue, right? Meaning the profit is what remains after you've taken out the total cost from the total revenue, right? So this means it is very important to know how much of the product you need to sell in order for you to start making profits. Like how much of the product you need to sell in order to cover the total cost, so that you start making the profit, right? And if you know how much of the product you need to sell in order to cover the total cost, that means you will have an idea of when are you going to make a profit, to start making a profit, right? And that point is called the break-even point. Okay. At break-even point, the total revenue received is always equal to the total cost associated with your products, like all the cost for making or producing and selling your products. Okay, so at break even, we have the total cost equals the total revenue equals the total cost. So remember this question we were working on. They said here we should calculate the product and the equilibrium product, right? And the quantity. And that equilibrium was the key word there. Because if you are told that it's at equilibrium, that means from there you can just say the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. Now, at break even, once you are asked to, okay, you are given that your products, or maybe once you are asked to calculate the product or the price at break even, this is where you start. Total revenue equals the total cost. And we know that the total cost equals the fixed cost plus the variable cost. So this means at break even, total revenue equals the fixed cost plus the variable cost. Okay, let me do one example here again. Open the book. Okay. Okay, here is our example. They said, how many units should the firm produce and sell to break even, given that their product sells for 60 rand? Okay, the product sells for 60 rand per item, meaning P is equal to 60, right? And then they said their fixed cost amounts to 250. So we have the fixed cost is 250, and we are told that the variable cost is 10 rand per unit produced, right? So this means we have variable cost equals 10Q, right? Okay. The question was, how many units should the firm produce and sell to break even, right? Okay, first we have break even. Break even, we know that the total revenue equals the total cost, right? And we are asked to calculate Q. What is Q when the total revenue equals the total cost, right? And okay. And we are asked to calculate. Okay. We said we are asked to find Q, whereby the total revenue equals the total cost, right? And we are given the price, the fixed cost, and the variable cost as in. So this means we have, okay, we know that the total revenue cost should be the price times the quantity, right? And the price in this case is 60 Rand. So this means we have the total revenue as 60Q, right? And we said the total cost equals to the fixed cost plus the variable cost. And our fixed cost is 250 when we said the variable cost is 10Q, right? So plus 10Q. Okay. Now we have these two, we can substitute them back here. And if we do that, we'll have 60Q equals 250 plus 10. We are asked to solve, to find the quantity, which is Q, meaning we are asked to, meaning we have to make Q the subject of the formula, right? And if we do that, that means we have to transpose this 10 with Q to that other 10 with Q, meaning we have to drop the 10s with Q on one side, and then we have the numbers on the other side. Okay, so let's do that. We have 60Q. Okay, this will we transpose its changes its sign to minus 10Q equals 250. And then we add these two. And if we add these two, we have 50Q equals 250. You want Q, not 50Q. So it means we need to divide with 50 on both sides. And if we do this, we'll have Q equals, is it 5? Yeah. So this means this means this is the quantity that the firm should produce and sell at break even. Do we have questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you.